Cool. You guys all ready?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Mine is
Cool. Yours up? Okay, cool.
We're Gucci.
All
Should
right.
be going back.
Perfect. All right. Well, welcome back to episode 4. We got Weezy in the house. We got Streetz in the house.
Yeah.
And Arcraiders is going through some shit right now. So, and lots of good things too. So, the first thing I wanted to talk about is the exploits, because it's the most common thing that's been happening on all the shorts. Everyone's been posting stuff about it, and some of these things are like game breaking the house.
Yeah.
So, a couple of the things that have been going on that have been fixed were the duplication glitch, where you can dupe items, and there was some new ones that popped up where you could duplicate ammo, so you could have a gun that just shoots infinitely, like the Pharaoh. You could just keep shooting and you don't have to reload. That was insane. And we have some that have not been fixed apparently, so we're going to dive into those. But I wanted to show you guys some of the ones that we have had going on. So here's the first one here.
So apparently there's a new infinite health glitch in arcraiders, which allegedly makes you not exactly invincible, but it actually makes it so that you're getting Vita Spray healing the entire time you're playing the game. And I don't know, maybe the devs just can't get a break, but this has been brought to my attention after a TikTok has gone semi-viral talking about this from Coffee Verts right here, where he showcases someone doing it, but he's not actually showing it all on one screen. And I have seen people claiming that this is just engagement bait click farming after the other glitches that happened this week, which shout out to Embark for fixing really quickly, but also other people are claiming that they have run into players recently that have been invincible. So I'll try to keep you guys updated, but hopefully Embark will also fix this one ASAP.
Yeah, it feels like some people are invincible for sure. And then we had this one.
Currently a duplication glitch in arcraiders. Glitch is so broken that it allows you to spam any throwable. Not only does this allow you to spam infinite grenades, it also allows you to spam infinite ducks, which can make you millions per game. Posting this so that Embark will hopefully see it and patch it in tomorrow's update. So to do the glitch, you're going to want to open your inventory with the item in your hand, split the stack, move the item from the left to the right, split it again, and that's literally it. Like and sub for more.
That was the crazy one. Lots of millionaires.
That
Arcraiders
one
right now
was crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
Yeah, during that, it was very unplayable.
And then we have the infinite ammo.
There's a new infinite ammo glitch that allows you to have as many shots as you want without ever having to reload on any weapon in the game.
Is that your cousin,
including a
Streetz?
hole cracker. And to do it, you need a
I know, right? Yeah.
in hand, and then whatever you want infinite ammo on in your offhand. The Trente has 102 bullets because I do have the extended mag on here. And what you do is just swap these back and forth, drop the second weapon, pick it back up, and then take it out. And look at that, it's a volcano with 102 shots inside of one clip. Literally unstoppable. And
Magazine.
you can now just fire forever, deleting entire maps. Embark definitely needs to fix this, and they were fast to fix the duplication glitch, so hopefully this gets patched ASAP, but it is gonna be very popular very soon.
That's the 3 that I got. So there's an exploit that's actually kind of nice. It's the one with the Vita Spray. People block the doorways. You just squirt it on them, push them off. I love that. So, but from you guys, what are you guys feeling with that?
I did like the Vita Spray glitch. I don't know if that was something that they, just overlooked or something that, people found out, But I like it. I think it changes the dynamic of the game because so many people are just used to dying in front of the door or blocking the entry to the door, and you can't close it, leaving you prone to shredders or any of the other arc. But now all you have to do is aim your Vita Spray at them, and you can move them out the way, slide them out the way, which I think is pretty cool. I did it yesterday, and it only lasts for just a second. So you can't just infinitely move them around. once you spray them, you have a couple seconds to be able to move the body in any direction that you want. So I think that's a W for sure. As far as the other stuff, it felt like a nightmare at times, especially during the dupe glitch. It was really bad. It felt like every single fight that we came across ended up having somebody throwing trigger nades and or spamming snap blast grenades. It was horrendous. It was awful. But I'm glad they fixed it with the quickness and it didn't last very long. Weezy, what are your thoughts before we get too deep into this thing? What are you thinking, brother?
No, yeah, man. That's from what you're saying. It's the same thing, man. Because nothing but teenage like that. Duke glitch was the most horrendous thing to ever even occur in the game. Because teenage already broken, but just imagine just getting that shit just spamming. You throw like 6, 12, 15 of it. You know, like it's unplayable. You know, like I don't want to be playing that. But honestly, man, with these updates, it shouldn't be like that. You know what I'm saying? Every other update or every update they drop is always a new exploit. Always a new exploit. It shouldn't be like that. You know, it makes the game look bad. You know, even though they do patch it pretty quickly, but it shouldn't still be like that. You know, and that's just frustrating because people, are gonna bash on the game per usual, and then people are gonna end up leaving because there's so many exploits after another, especially with the unlimited ammo. Imagine running around with a 100 round mag, with a volcano. It's just unfun, You got to reload, and he's over here, doo, 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 doo. It's just unfun. All right, what about you, Sandy?
Man, it feels good to go into a match and have the mindset that it's going to be a fair fight and not have to question it. So it's very difficult to go into a game, play it, and not be able to down the other person and be like, do I just suck? Am I not hitting my shots? Or is this guy doing some dirty shit? That's what gets it for me. So these things that are happening are literally breaking the game. When people are spamming grenades, that's obvious. That's an obvious thing. But not being able to down somebody after like fucking 4 shotgun hits, it's like, did the game mess up? Is the game having latency? Are they hacking or are they exploiting? That's the thing that drives me insane. So I'll leave it at that. That's my mindset with that. So obviously they need to be fixed. They got to put the time in and take a real close look at what's opening the doors for these people to be able to do this and just get it fixed, which I'm sure they will. They've been on top of it for the most part with a lot of the older glitches. I mean, some of them lasted a little while, and some of the newer ones that popped up were patched almost immediately, like same day. We had the glitch that you guys saw with the hole cracker where they switch out the guns. That came out, and the same day they put out a hot fix and they fixed that. So they are listening. They're on top of it. So it just I hope they keep the same trend. So, well, with that same subject, I just wanted to follow up. If they don't fix this within the next 2 to 3 weeks, do you think this is going to cause a player base to drop off? And if it does cause a player base to drop off, do you guys think that they would come back once they patch it, or would they be forever gone? What do you guys think?
I think they'll stay. It's acquired a nice little fan base right now, and I think that the day and age in which we're in right now, unfortunately, the time in which we're in, people are going to try to find every cheat they can to get an advantage in the game. And when they can't, because obviously Embark's on top of their stuff, then they're going to try to find any exploit that they can. They're going to, anything that's going to give somebody the advantage. And I feel like that's going to be in any video game that you go to. Unfortunately, if you're playing online against people, that's just something that we're having to deal with now, because people unfortunately aren't good at the game, and they want to be, and they cheat to do it. So I don't think that it would be a thing that would keep people away for long, because there's so many people that are having fun with the game. but I do think that some people would probably, fall off for just a minute, just until they got it fixed. And they do fix things every Tuesday. They come out with the new update, so I feel like it wouldn't be gone for long. If they did leave, they wouldn't be gone for long. But um, it is something that they do need to take a look at before it becomes a bigger issue, and then you have massive amounts of people leaving due to all the cheating. Um, that's just my take on it.
All right. What about you, Weezy?
Yeah, I don't think there's gonna be a huge drop off. Obviously, people are gonna get mad at it, post about it, but there's never a time where they haven't patched an exploit fast enough. They patch it really pretty quickly, not gonna lie. So that I'm not afraid of, but I don't like how it's just a continuous thing. That's all it is. Literally, it's just a continuous thing about exploits after exploit after exploit, and it's always with a patch. They patch something, then some other thing comes up. Oh, there's new exploit. Patch it. Oh, there's another exploit. It's just like, no, like, come on, like it shouldn't be like that. Especially if there's gonna be new competitors coming out like Marathon. And let's say if that takes off, and then Arc is still having issues with exploits and all that, and then let's say if Marathon has no exploits, and they're doing pretty good, they might switch over, because I heard mixed opinions about Marathon, but that's something that I feel like Arc needs to really like focus on. It's like kind of like kind of proofread it, like, oh, this is gonna break, or has this gonna make drop another exploit, or that's something that shouldn't happen at all. That's just not it.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I just wanted to get some feedback on that because the exploits have been one of the bigger things that have been popping up for sure. It's the hottest topic right now for arc raiders because it's literally game breaking. So everyone's talking about it. I don't think people would necessarily just leave in floods. I think they might take a break and then come back when they see the hot fix. Other competitors coming out with things, just like when Arc Raiders came out and blew up. Another game could come out and blow up, and people can go to that game, regardless of the exploits and the cheats. So that's my take on that. I think they're in a good spot, and they're gonna stay there for a while. And even if a new game came out and people flooded, it's still gonna be a fun game. It's still gonna be awesome. It's still gonna have a community to it. There's always gonna be diehard fans on any game you play. So I'm not too worried about that. Plus, having a little bit less competition pool would be kind of nice sometimes. There's some sweats on this
Facts.
game, man.
Oh, God.
I'm telling you, just vicious animals. So a couple things I wanted to go over, kind of similar in this category. Sorry, I'm dying from allergies. There's the out of bounds damage fixes. So people getting into the ceiling and shooting through the ceiling. That was a big problem with Salamantis, a couple other maps. It's still happening on some, like Blue Gate. There's a new one that popped up where people could do that. So what are you guys feeling about that as far as shooting through, just being a ceiling cuck?
I hate it. I actually was watching Tifu with my homie Smirksies, who turned me on to Sifu. He was like, "Hey, if you haven't checked this dude out, he's like one of the dopest players at this game right now." So I checked out his stream, and I was like, "What?" I see this dude jump up into the ceiling through the wall. Like, what the fuck? And I'm watching it with another homie, Swagsy Dabbington. And so I was like, "Bro, come on, man. Especially because you're in a higher position in the streaming world, and people are looking at your streams, they're gonna mimic what you do. When you have a big fan base like that, if somebody sees you jump through the wall and shoot people, then they're gonna jump through the wall and shoot people. And not saying that it's his fault by any means. Shout out to homie, he's dope. But it sucks, you know. It just makes the game not fun, and I wish that they would go through and fix these things. I'm not a developer, but I mean, maybe pay some people to go through and find it. You know, some diehard sweats who just love the game and say, hey, look, we'll pay you to go through and find, you know, stuff that maybe we didn't the first time. So my take on it, I feel like they should somehow, if they could, you know, just make sure all the ceilings are good. Make sure you can't glitch through any walls or doors or anything like that. And then, you know, once you see it, I mean, they are quick to fix it, but maybe, you know, pay some of these people who are, you know, diehard Arc Raiders fans to be like, hey, we'll throw you a little bit of extra, you know, change if you can figure these things out for us and help us out and help the community grow, you know, instead of, you know, taking it down, maybe help bring it up.
Yeah,
Okay.
that would be pretty, you know, that would be pretty cool, you know, having people that do find these exploits. Because I know people, you don't just find these exploits just to find them, you know, like you have to go out and actually like look for things like that, you know. So that'd be pretty cool to implement people, you know, paying people to find exploits and they can patch it right off the bat. But when it comes to streaming though, streamers shouldn't really stream it. You know what I'm saying? Like Tfue also did the console command where the poly graphics where you can see literally everything. There's no effects, no nothing. It's just straight clear, crystal clear. You can see everybody, right? And he, you know, he streamed that. Now everybody was doing that. Again, I'm not bashing him either, too, you know, because I did it too, so I'm not gonna like bash him on that either. But even just like glitching through walls and ceilings and all that, because I feel like you shouldn't stream it. Because again, because there's some people that don't even make sure don't do this, you're gonna get banned. No, they just kind of just do it, show you how to do it, and that's it, and call it a day, you know. Yeah, but again, I'm not afraid of them not fixing it. Obviously, you know, I think they will fix it within the next week or maybe 2 weeks or so. But that's something they definitely need to go through every single map. You know, try to find how it's happening, why it's happening, why is every update they're putting out is causing more glitches and all that. So I think that's what they need to figure out for sure.
All right. Well, from my end, it was bad at one point. We had Telemontis was, jeez, man, like you didn't know what was going to happen when you went in the lobby. You know, you didn't know if you were going to lose your freaking Bobcat to some dickhead in the ceiling. So I can honestly say in the last week, I have not experienced any cases of getting shot through the walls at all, which it's a huge improvement because it has not happened in all the games. And I you know, Weezy and Streetz knows we'll do like 4, 5, 6, 7 hour sessions back to back on Salamantis and still haven't experienced anything like that so far. So it's been pretty good. You know, they're making the right moves and fixing this stuff as it happens. So this, I'm sure the Blue Gate stuff, it's going to get fixed pretty soon. Or maybe it's not as much of an issue right now with people doing it as it was before. So I guess we'll see. But so far, I'm pretty happy with what they've done, getting that, you know, put under lock and key. You know, so okay. So with all of those things, I wanted to talk about the cheaters. So the CEO of Embark has confirmed that tens of thousands of cheaters have been banned. So they have a multiple stage like banning process where it's a 30-day ban, then it's a 60-day ban, and then it's a perma ban. Some people don't like the fact that it has, you know, the multi levels, and I'll get your guys' take on that too. But the fact that they are getting banned is good news, because these people are getting out of here unless they want to spend $40 again, unless they really like spending $40 like Peanut says. It's gonna slow down the process, I think. So what's your guys' take on that?
I'm I'm all about, you know, second chances and all that. I feel like two bans. I feel like maybe one and then a perma ban. You know, because if it just gives them two chances to cheat or even three chances to cheat and then they get perma ban, like nah. I think they should at least do like maybe like a 130-day ban, and then if they end up cheating again, then they should ban them again. But like how you were saying though, it's good that they are banning players instead of just like holding back. You know, not banning anybody at all. But I think the cheating has dumbed down a little bit. I feel like, you know, expect like, you know, besides the exploits, but I feel like that's no haven't like encountered any like cheaters and like that. I feel like, but I think it's a good thing that keep you know they're banning people. You know, it's good. Uh, but I think they should at least get rid of that 30, 60 then a perma ban. I think they should at least do like a 30-day ban and then a perma ban after, because I feel like it's gonna take too long for them to. Let's give him three chances, not take too long. Let's give him three chances to cheat again, and then again, if they want to spend $40, spend $40. You know, you're helping the developers. You know, giving them more money. So yeah.
Right.
What about you, Streets? How you feel about that?
I agree with you on that to a point. I do like the fact that they're kind of setting the bar and kind of showing people like, hey, look, for other companies, other game industries, this is how you should do it. You should do 30-day ban. You come back, you do it again, 60, because you never know. Hey, you're with your friends, you know, it's late, you do some goofy stuff, you get a ban, you know? Okay, hey, you know what? I won't do it again. I apologize. I'll come back. You know, you do it a second time, it's like, hey, look, we're not gonna let you play the game. You do it again. We're gonna ban you now for 2 months. And if you do this again, you're out of here. I'm looking at what Chad is also saying. Good Ship Alpaca, he's saying from the jump, this is Smirksies. Smirksies saying install cheats should be a permaban from the jump. Cause if they can detect that you have cheats on your stuff from the jump, I also would agree with that. It's like you're just trying to get an advantage and you're making the game not fun for a lot of folks. You're making it, you know, a harder job for the devs. So pack them up and get them up out of here. I do feel that. That's why Weezy was saying, hey, you know, three strikes may be good in baseball, but it may not be good here because, you know, they'll do what they do in Call of Duty. They'll just duplicate the accounts, get different accounts. You know, once I've banned this one, I'll go to the next one. So maybe not the 60-day ban, maybe the 30-day. Like, hey, look, you like this game, you're not going to play it anymore. If you get caught cheating, this is a real thing in real time. But, you know, they have a plan to be around, and I think that hopefully, these cheaters and these exploits that we're seeing, they are starting to become smaller and smaller and smaller. You know, hopefully they can get it fixed, and we won't have to worry about as many cheaters coming in to the lobbies. Because, like I said, I don't see a lot of cheaters, but I do see a lot of exploits being used and a lot of stuff like that. I think people are exploiting a lot of stuff, so they just need to kind of see what they can do about fixing those exploits. Again, like I said, maybe create a job, you know, and be like, hey, do you know a lot of exploits? Do you, you know, however you want to market it, and say, hey, you want to come be a part of our staff or be a part of the Arc Raiders team, you know, we could pay you guys to help us do that. You know what I mean? Or like a bounty, like, hey, well, you know, you found this, you know, exploit, you tell us about it, we'll pay you some money, or we'll give you an in-game skin or something like that says, hey, this person helps our team and nobody can get this. And then when people are wondering, where'd you get that dope skin at? Oh, well, you know, I have a job working for Embark finding exploits and something like that. You know what I mean? But the day thing, I do agree with Weezy a little to a point. If you keep giving them chances to come back, they're gonna find ways to just keep doing what they're doing, and it's never gonna stop. It's gonna be a repeat cycle. Because, you know, Smirchy just said maybe 30 days with subsequent increases for com bans and otherwise. You know, so maybe you have like a level of cheats or, you know, bans. Like, hey, you did this, it was something mild, you'll get a mild ban. You know, you did something greater with cheats, you get a greater ban. So I think that's a That's a great idea. He says he runs into cheaters pretty often. More often in solos, he says he runs into cheaters in solo field. So it's pretty bad. There's some stuff going on. You know, again, I feel like it's a lot of people exploiting things and just taking advantage of maybe the back door was open or this window. It's like, hey, we can get away with this, and it just sucks because it's not like it's the best players doing it, right? It's the people who really can't compete with the normal standard of gaming, and then the people who really can't compete on those levels. I feel like those are the ones who are like, I'm gonna go in here and ruin everybody's night because they're gonna shoot me, and my health's not gonna go down. It's just gonna continue to go up, and this is gonna make a lot of people mad. So, it's just the trolls. So, hopefully they can get that under control.
I agree with some of those points. With the ban levels, I think you should look at it like if you work for a corporate company, right? What would get you fired and what would get you a warning? So if you're exploiting stuff, you're duping ducks, or you're doing things that are not really supposed to be allowed in the game. It's just the game itself is broken to the point towards allowing people to use it versus outright cheating, right? It's the same as like saying a bad word at work and get written up versus getting mad at Deborah in HR, going into her office and shitting on Deborah's desk. You know what I mean? Like that would get you fired. That's a blatant, that's a no-no. Like, why would you do that?
Of course.
Kind of thing. So I believe that for people using cheats, outside cheats, ban those fuckers. Get them out of here. We don't need that shit. You know what I mean? But if someone's duping ducks, I could fucking care less, dude. Let them dupe ducks, and then fix it, and then wash your hands from it, and then move on. The glitch where they're banning unlimited ammo and they have like a semi-automatic freaking Pharaoh. Yeah, that sucks. They get blasted by a Pharaoh and die when you brought a Bobcat in the game, but it's because the game's broken, and they fixed it, right? So maybe for that, like you get caught doing that, 30-day ban, whatever, So that's my take on that. I think that they need to look at it in that perception, and people that are upset about it, about people not getting banned right away, they have to understand that there's more levels to it than that. And Embark understands this, and I believe that's why they implemented this system. So go ahead, Streetz.
Would it be crazy? Now, I could be crazy. Maybe I'm just thinking outside of the box, but would it be too crazy to maybe have them go back and think about, the things that are getting exploited, and maybe just make a mode for that? Maybe just lean into it. Something that most game companies wouldn't do. Maybe lean into it and go, hey, you guys want a Pharaoh that just shoots? Pow, pow, pow. We'll give it to you in this particular game mode. Hey, you want to do some, crazy stuff where your health kind of regenerates. You only have to a certain degree, and you got to maybe press them even harder so that maybe the game lasts longer. Make a mode like that. And then maybe see how it goes. See how many people play. See what people do and how they react. Maybe just a thought, it doesn't, maybe, sometimes when you see those things, it's like an outcry, like with the Rattler. It's like, hey, maybe make a Rattler in this game mode that maybe has a scope or maybe has more bullets, maybe shoots faster, reloads, just maybe a fun time mode. The same with the thing they're doing right now with the shared event. Like, hey, just a fun mode, or maybe you act nice, you get a little bit more for it. So maybe, hey, some diabolical shit, you get, a little bit more for in this particular game mode. Maybe just lean into it and just see what the outcome is. Because they're kind of setting the bar for how they're doing everything else. Why not try this? If you have to get off subject, but if Rockstar can see what they did with our Grand Theft Auto RP, and instead of just getting mad, they went and bought the company and bought what they was doing and said, hey, look, why don't you guys help us build this thing? You know what I mean? So maybe just kind of take some notes from them and lean into it that way. Just a thought. Just a thought.
All right.
There's always more
What
than
do you
one
got,
way to
Weezy?
skin a cat.
Oh.
Go ahead. My bad. No.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, I think the whole game mode, it's an interesting idea, but I don't think they'll lead into exploits. I think that's very unlikely, to be honest. You know, but I think that would be pretty cool. Imagine having running around with an unlimited ammo, a Pharaoh, like do 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 do. You know, it seems pretty cool. You know, it's kind of a cool idea, but yeah, I don't think they're gonna lead into that. You know, but yeah, and then obviously the health too is pretty. It seems pretty cool too, but again, it's also game breaking. I don't know if they even fixed that exploit yet. I don't think they even have like patch note for that one. But my bad, Streetz, go ahead. You were saying?
No, I agree. I don't think that they'll ever, get into it. But these are just fun conversations to say, hey, look, what if? What if they did? What would the result be? What if these companies did that? Because somewhere deep down, it's the outcry for like, hey, we want this. It's just some people are just like, I'm not gonna wait for you to do it. I'm gonna do it and just experience the game the way I am outcrying for you to let me try. But I mean, like I said, a limited game mode. Make it every 12 hours like you did with the other one. Maybe every 8 hours there's a random event for an hour that you just go have fun in. Because again, video games are supposed to be fun. It doesn't always have to be serious. Maybe this is just a fun mode. Like, hey, called exploited. Like, hey, everything's exaggerated in this mode. Maybe not exploited. Maybe it's exaggerated, broken. Like a limit, like a just a limited mode where it's like, hey, go crazy, man. You guys wanted it. We love you. Here you go. Get out of my way. What's good, baby? Go ahead. I always gotta shout my dude out. He turned me on to the game. He put me on the arcraiders, so I had to. Sorry, go ahead.
With the modes, Embark has been pretty adamant about staying in line with the game's like nature. So they definitely don't want to turn it into like a COD kind of thing. So as cool as it would be, and I agree with you, man, it'd be cool to have modes, because like we want to be able to play with the toys and push them to their limits, but it's not what they're about. So they're not gonna bend to the will of the people in that aspect, unfortunately. But I'm 99% sure they're not going to do it. But it'd be cool. It'd be cool to have like a team deathmatch, where you can go in and it's just PvP, and then you don't have people crying, because you spilled their fucking cereal, because they want a PvE all day. We have the modes available for them to do it, but I mean, it's a PvP game / PvE, so it's always going to be an element. So, but we'll see. Maybe they'll have something that will compromise in between, give something to the people that want something towards that aspect, but not stray too far from where they want to be. So, okay. So moving on, we had a lot of things fixed in the patch notes. We had reconnection stability fixed. We had the tunnel scenes that were glitching. We had incorrect end of round XP and merits that were messing up. We had frozen crafting issues where it would glitch out and you have to restart the process of like choosing your crafting amounts. And they also have been more transparent with their patch notes on stuff. We talked about that before with silent nerfs and things like that. They've been a lot more transparent on the last one than they were before. So how are you guys feeling so far with the game stability? Is it better? Is it the same? Is it worse off? How are you guys feeling?
It got better for sure, man. Because I think that was a huge problem for me when trying to have a certain amount of like crafting materials, right? Having a certain amount and it restarts back to one. Like that was very annoying. Like I don't know why they that was a thing, but that was like the most annoying part for me. But everything else though, they have done it's been pretty good. Like I have no issues with the UI or even crafting. It's been good. It's been really good. So besides the exploits, obviously. But go ahead, Shane.
Right.
What you got?
For me, I have noticed the improvements on the stability and the connection issues. I definitely used to disconnect from the game a lot. Be in the middle of a fight, then you're just doing the running man in place. You come back, and then I do like the fact that you can reconnect to the game. Um, and it's nothing worse than when you're about to get into a gunfight and you see those symbols pop up on the side of your screen, the red, yellow symbols letting you know stability issues, connection issues, server issues, whatever the case may be. And I haven't noticed it as much, but there are still times where I will be in the middle of a fight and my game will just freeze. I won't totally disconnect from the game like it used to do, but I'll still freeze. And the sucky part to that is that the arc isn't freezing with you. The game around you is still moving fluently while you're stuck. So I've experienced being stuck and then come back and there's a pop right by my leg, blew up, or an arc like a wasp that came and shot me. Then I come back, I have a blue shield, good weapons. Now I'm on the floor and I'm dead because the game froze and Art didn't recognize that I was frozen and shot me. So I don't know if they could put something in there to where they could recognize, the Art can recognize, oh, this person is obviously going through something. He's glitching out. Let me not take advantage of him and shoot him so that they'll lose their stuff. Because, who do you complain to when that happens? Like, hey, Art killed me, but they killed me because I was glitching out due to the connection issues. So I wish that they would kind of find a fix for that. Outside of that, though, I like the changes they've been making to make the game more stable.
Okay. I'm feeling
And
I'm
you,
feeling
what
pretty
about
good
yourself?
about it. Yeah, I've been I feel like the stability has gotten better. The glitch in the menu, oh my god, dude, it pissed me off. I have to make 5 shoulder chargers and it would set to 1. I have to do it all over again, over and over and over. End game, selecting in your hotbar, your freaking defib, they get your buddy up, and it takes like 6 fucking seconds because you got to keep trying to select that damn thing. And then by the time you go to get him up, you're dead when you could have had your buddy up and both of you shooting at the people coming down the stairs or whatnot. So that is huge. That there are little things that make a big difference when it matters, right? So seeing that be fixed is it's a really good thing. I like it. So the stability, I felt it's been a lot better. Yeah, the exploits, it's always going to happen. There's always going to be something that someone spends all their time, trying to find them in the game, and they're going to come to light. It's just the nature of gaming in of itself. It's, exploiting has always been a huge thing. So, but getting into the heat of a battle and having the game not do what it's supposed to do is a whole other issue that is more frustrating, in my opinion, than exploits. So, but I've been happy with it. Did you get your piece in, Weezy?
Yeah, I already got my piece.
Okay, I wasn't sure the rotation were kind of random, so.
Oh no, we're good.
Um,
No, yeah.
Okay, so now we got that. One thing I wanted to go over that Streetz actually brought to my attention, which I was shocked because I didn't know it was a thing until he showed me it was a thing. But they have a voice chat moderation hard R limit. So basically, it's an automatic suspension for repeated slur usage, and voice chat. They call it derogatory language enforcement system, temporary suspension during investigation type process, and then they do like a perma ban from like the voice chat if they feel like it's a severe case, right? Which is a problem in some cases because it's AI. AI is not perfect, and there are some things that sound like a slur that are not slurs that could basically keep you from being able to communicate in game. So so I actually want to start with you, Streets, because it's happened, and I want to know what your opinions are because now it's
Yes.
relevant.
Yes, yes. I think that is a massive W that all video games should adapt. They should follow behind their footsteps. Not just not just anybody should be able to come into a game and just racially tear anybody down. We're all human. We're all here to have a fun time and to enjoy ourselves on the game. So the fact that Embark is even considering taking the time to implement a system that will stop this, or just a start to trying to stop that, is a huge W. And listen here, all your black fans are very, very, very appreciative of this. And we love you guys for that because you care about us and it shows. And not just us, for all races, you know. Nobody wants to be called names, especially not racial slurs. And when I saw that, I just felt like, that's so good. Like, W, like, hey, you want to keep doing it? And I've played with Weezy, with you, Sandy, with Smirksy. You guys have all experienced the hard R when you've played with me. Even by yourself, you've heard people drop that. And it's just, it's time that it's something done about it, Especially when you're coming in there and you're just screaming it into the mic, over and over and over and over and over on repeat. So I think that they are doing a fantastical job with handling that. And I can't wait to see how this progresses. And hopefully other companies and other devs adopt this same system and it goes in our favor. Hopefully, again, they're not, like you said, Sandy, picking up the wrong things because it's AI and they're interpreting something that may be racially a slur or not a slur, and they're just thinking that it is. So hopefully, with those cases, that when they get caught, humans monitor them, not AI. Like, don't leave it up to AI and then leave it up to AI again. If it gets flagged or it's a case where you're not sure or unsure, that's when the human or the dev should step in, take a listen to it, and go, "Oh no, I understand what they mean," or "No, you're definitely trying to fool us. We know what you mean." So I think it's a huge W, and I'm liking it and I'm loving this thing going forward. What do you think, Sir Sandy, about this? 'Cause I know we talked about this offline. What do you think, sir? What's your thoughts on it?
I think it's good. I mean, I grew up in a different time, in a different region, and these were things that were very normal that the language people would use, and I've never really. It always made me sick to my stomach, because as a human being, right, we all have the responsibility to be fair to each other. So going on games like COD back in the day, constant, man. It didn't matter if you were black, white, Mexican, Asian, didn't matter, right? The hard R was like, it was that's why we call it a gamer word,
Yeah.
And I don't think people use it in the sense of like just being racist. I think they use it because they're mad because they suck at the game, so they just have to resort to whatever word they feel is the most offensive to try to make you upset. I think that's what it is. So I mean, how do they know you're black? That's the thing. Like they don't. They just say it because they're little dirtbags.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that say with a soft A, right? Like it's like for some people it's a term of endearment, So if it's AI, I feel like it might catch that and think that it's saying the R, and that could cause problems. But for the most part, absolutely. You're saying shit like that in the game, you need to get the fuck out. Because nobody wants to hear your bullshit.
Yeah. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't know too many black people who are gonna say that on repeat. Like, if I'm like, "Hey, yo, what's good?" I'm not gonna be like, "What's good, my nigga, nigga." You know what I'm saying? I'm not just gonna keep doing. So that's what I mean. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just hopefully they can get through with that. But I know it's a touchy subject for a lot of people. But I mean, we're talking about it, we're doing something about it, and I think it's dope. Weezy, brother, what do you think about this?
No, hell yeah, man. Embark, it's a huge W. It's gonna be a huge staple because honestly, every single time I play is at least one or maybe twice. It's gonna get said after my 4 hours of playing. It's always get said, no matter what. But again, though, it's gonna happen every game. Trash talk is always gonna happen. But again, it's very unacceptable for saying shit like that because you're not supposed to say that. You're like no, like especially the historical word behind that shit too. You're not supposed to be saying that. Like at all. But I do hope they do keep the trash talk. Don't get rid of the trash talk. That's part of every single game.
Yes.
That's part of every single game. But any like racial, any racial things that they do catch on, obviously take action. They can't just keep saying it and get away with it. Nah, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Ban them, like permaban their voice chat. But but again, I think the AI, like obviously how you guys were saying AI, it's good they should catch it, but they should also have a human, review it and make sure that it's actually correct about what they were saying, you know? Um but yeah, I think this is a huge W, and like again, like I said, that companies should take over. Don't be like Call of Duty where you can't trash talk and you get banned
Yes.
for 30 days, 60 days, you know what I'm saying? Like no, that's what it's supposed to be. That's what trash talk is supposed to be in the game, Not obviously racial shit, but trash talk is supposed to be in the game, That's all the fun is. You play trash talk, have fun, everybody knows it's just a game.
You
So
gotta have
obviously,
a.
if you're implementing racist shit, you know what I'm saying? No, like don't do that. Especially if you're the opposite color of it. Like no. They can't do that. But again, huge W. Embark. I'm glad you're doing this shit. Keep doing what you're doing, and let's see what topic we're gonna go into.
Man,
Yeah,
please, yeah,
I
please, whatever you do, Embark. I know you're watching. Please let us continue to talk shit. Just let's leave the race out of it. Like Weezy said, don't become Call of Duty and you can't even cuss on there, and your characters in game can cuss, and your fan base and your players can't cuss. Don't get to that point. But I like where you guys are headed to. It looks pretty cool. Oh, okay. So on to the next. I'm sorry.
yeah. No, you're good. The trash talk thing, I have a hard time with that because I want to talk some shit,
Yeah.
But I've kind of reeled back a little bit, and now I go like, why are you mad, bro? Why are you mad? It's a game. Relax. And it actually makes people more mad. So I found a more refined, classy shit talking than I used to have, where I'm just like, mad cause bad, bro. Mad cause bad. So because when you layer it out like that, I'm like, why are you angry? And you point it to the person, it pisses them off more, and it brings me joy. But were you going with something, Weezy? I saw
Oh,
you
no, no,
pop
no,
up.
no,
Oh,
no, 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 no,
okay.
no.
The mic rotates so that way we're like
Yes,
it
sir.
pops
Yeah.
us up. All right. Well, for the next segment here, so I wanted to go over new map theory. I know we've beat the dead horse at this thing, and we also got an event called the Shared Watch event. I think I actually have the. Oh, I'll share it. We got a nice little screen share here for the new event that popped up. There we go.
Hello, Raider. Want to team up? Watch out, Bastion.
Thanks.
I love that sound. So yeah, it's the new share event, and then also the new cosmetics, which we have this that just dropped, which I absolutely love. It wants to play. So sexy.
Yeah, man, that shit's hard.
We're rocking the shit out of that. You got a fox, a raccoon, and a Arctic wolf looking thing. So I want to start with the map theory. We've had a lot of theories on this. With the recent updates and changes and stuff, what do you think we're gonna get?
All right. So I did hear a theory, right? On one of the arcraiders alert. One of the comments, right? With this new update saying there's a new map update, right? People are speculating where it's gonna expand, where it's gonna go into like new events. Like the map is gonna get a little bit much bigger, so you can actually explore new areas. Like how the dam has a volcano. The little volcano out in the distance. Like they might expand it to that a little bit. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but I think that sounds pretty cool. kind of like having the map a little bit bigger, like kind of expanding a little bit more, you know. But that, I don't know how they're gonna do that, but I mean that'd be pretty cool. Um, and then with the shared watch event, again, they kind of confused it. I don't know if it was supposed to be an actual like event, like where it rotates, like kind of how like Burst City is. I have not seen it yet. Um, it was supposed to be a PVE thing, but I don't know. But yeah, again, the whole map thing though, it's I I think it would be kind of cool. If they kind of expand it a little bit, kind of like push it out and see if we are gonna a little volcano map. Because I really want a volcano map. That sounds pretty cool, and especially with the little embers and dam too, kind of flying everywhere. But what you think, Streets? You think they're gonna expand it, or you think
I
they're gonna
think
have
they're
it
gonna
like?
do something with, again, with the sky. I would hope that it would be something maybe with the weather, maybe possibly. I know that, like, I think it was Exoborn during, not to get on, such a, but I think Exoborn had like tornadoes in their game, and that was an extraction shooter, and it was cool. It had different storms that were happening at different points of the map while you're going through. So maybe having something like that, maybe like a volcano exploding, or a tornado, or something with the heavy rain that's really going to affect visibility, or something that's going to really change how we have to play the game. I know I'm going to get to the next thing, but I want to say I don't know if bringing Cold Snap back was the right move. It's kind of like could have maybe gave us something different. You know, I didn't see people like overly raving like yay, like Cold Snap. It's kind of like okay, we're back in the code again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now on to the shared watch event. This is what my honest opinion is. If you're gonna do something, do it to the fullest. Don't come half ass. And I feel like they came half ass on this. Because you literally could have just made a mode where it's PvP only. That's what I thought, and I felt like you kind of tricked us. You pulled the wool over our eyes, Embark. Where I thought it was gonna be a mode where you went in there and you could fight, the matriarch, the queen. You could go and look for certain items, and you wouldn't get any PvP. And all they did was just say, "Hey, we'll give you a little bit more if you're nice to other people." When it's like that's very confusing, and you should have been more direct with that. Because even in the preview that you showed, it's like, "Hey, Raider, want to team up?" So you should have also showed somebody killing one of them, or something to let us know, like, no, you can still shoot each other, and it's still the same game with just a little bit of a tweak. I wish they would just go ahead and fully give us a mode where it's like, hey, go fight the queen, go fight, the matriarch. You don't have to worry about getting shot in your back by other raiders. Maybe we'll amp up the arc because now you guys are on a team and there's no threat of you guys dying. You guys, are all on a team, so to say. Now we have to implement, tons of more arc. Maybe when they open up the doors to Stellamontes, they let the shredders out. Maybe do it then. But I feel like if you're going to do something, just do it to the fullest. Don't half-ass it. And I did not like the shared event. I felt like it was a trick, and they should have just came with it more. That's my personal opinion. I like everything else they do. I did not like this event. And I did not like the fact they brought Cold Snap back. Give us something new. And where was the event for Cold Snap coming back? Where's the flyer? Where's the big hey? It just pops up. So it's kind of like you're giving us filler, and I don't really want filler. You guys are knocking it out the park. Don't get lazy on us now. And that's my bit on that. What about you, Sandy?
Man, I'm my chips are all in on a coastal map. I saw that. Let me just rewind a little bit. Embark has been pretty good about leaving little clues, and the roadmap shows a little picture of like a little beach kind of environment. So I think they're gonna go with something coastal. I think we're gonna have like a beach side. So could it be like a port city Could it be a luxury district? Could it be like a research island, like Salamantis, but the island version of it? So those are the kind of things that are running through my mind, right? I hope it's a research island. We need another Salamantis because PvP is a huge level of this game. That's where most of the player base is coming from. So that's what I think. I think we're gonna have like some kind of aquatic beach style stuff going on. I could be way off. You guys have valid points too, and we've seen clues of volcanoes, like you said on the map, and ashes flying through the air. So I guess we'll see where we go from there. Cold Snap coming back. You know, they did that off popular demand. A lot of people were not happy with the fact that they only got to have a month to play with it. So they threw it back in the rotation to appease the people, which is what we all want, right? We want the developer to appease what we're asking for. And that's what makes this game so great is the people that are running it. So yeah, I mean, I wish we had the other map instead of Cold Snap, but I mean, in the meantime, we didn't have the new map anyways, so might as well just run it out, you know, or keep them seasonal. Keep it on for the whole winter season, and then take it off and have a spring map, have a summer map, you know, fall map, whatever it is. So, all right, cool. Well, we're getting close to our final segments here. So there's one thing that Weezy and I was discussing that we totally forgot to bring up on the last podcast. It's the second expedition and the catch-up mechanics that are coming with it. So I actually got the I'm full screened here. Here, I'm going to share my screen and we'll show this here. So we have all these updates for the second expedition. They actually changed the amount of money that you need to do it. I think it was 5 million before. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think now you only need like 3.5 million if you're on the second one, and you still get your points. You still get your 5 points if you have the 3.5 million. So again, I could be totally wrong, but that's what I was reading. So they've included that, and then a bunch of other stuff. You know, they have a new outfit, the patchwork outfit, more cosmetics for Scrappy. There's a lot of different stuff. So we also get buffs too, like 10% XP boost. You guys get a 6 to 12% Scrappy materials boost and a 60 to 70% repair value increase, which are huge. Those are huge. If you've already done the first one and you have the 5 skill points, now you're getting 5 more skill points, and you're adding these things. So what are you guys' thoughts on that?
Question: if you didn't do the first expedition, do you still have to pay the 5 million to get to this expedition, or can you just do the 3.5 million on this one and gain those points? I don't really know, 'cause I didn't do the first one, so it's kind of like still kind of rocky for me. But I was wondering that. I don't know that if I do this expedition, do I still get the chance to do the first expedition, or is there a window and that's already passed and it's over with and everything like that? So I was still kind of on the fence about it at all.
From my understanding, I believe that they're just saying that if you didn't do the first expedition, you still get the perks of the last expedition, just not the skill points. So because a lot of people missed the first one, they didn't make it, so they're doing now they're doing the second one, so they're trying to like blend them together. But you don't get the skill points from the first one. That's the one thing you don't get. So if you didn't do the first one, you're not going to have 10 total skill points. So just the perks. What do you think, Weezy? I know you were big on this.
See, I'm glad they changed it, man. Cause a mil for 1 skill point, it's kind of ridiculous. Not gonna lie, it really is. But I do like they did the your space dollars plus your stash. It adds all up all together for your skill points, which is pretty cool. But I'm honestly glad they did it. 600K per skill point. That's pretty good. Instead of the 1 million. But I think for skill points for the last expedition, I think you guys still have a chance to get all 10, but you need a little bit more. I think you need I think 4.5 mil all together to get all 10 of them, I believe. So they give you that
Oh,
chance at
nice.
least for anybody that haven't done it. But when it comes with the buffs, you don't get no buffs. You get the regular 5%. The people that did Expedition the first time, they get the 10%, the 70%, and all the other stuff, right? All the other buffs. And it's cool that they're gonna add kind of more into the Expedition skin, the patchwork skin. There's kind of be like a more colorways and more customizable features for it, which is pretty cool as well. Um, but yeah, man, I'm glad they changed it. You know, honestly, I don't really care, you know, about the whole skill points because I know people were kind of mad that it's kind of makes it useless for people that did the expedition, and then the people that's doing the second expedition still gets the chance to get all 10. Like, I mean, who cares? You know, it's kind of fair, right? I mean, I think it's pretty fair, right? But I mean, we still have the advantage of getting the consecutive boost, you know, like the 10% boost and like the 12% boost and the 70% repair boost, you know. I think it's, you know, we still have something that we're still grinding for, you know. But again, I think the whole change is really good that they changed the coins, you know, 600K per skill point. That's a huge change right there, man, cuz I actually really do enjoy that, appreciate it, you know, because again, a million is kind of overdoing it, you know, like a million per skill point, like ridiculous. But what about you guys? What you guys thoughts about it, about the expedition? Are you guys doing it? You guys not?
Man, I can't. I don't want to lose my blueprints, man. I haven't even got all of them yet, and I don't want to hunt for them again and be like. I mean, I'm sure, yeah, the excitement would be great. Like, oh my god, I got a survivor, but it's not the same as like when you first find a survivor ever. You're like, you know, that what do they call that dopamine release you get. You know, you found it and you're like, I'm gonna put this in my butthole. I'm gonna get out of the game and I'm gonna learn this bitch. You know, so. It's a little different. It's like, all right, now I gotta find them all again. Who knows how long it's gonna take for me to find a Tempest again and a volcano and a Bobcat. You know, I want to use these things. So I'm one of those guys that I'm okay. A little bit less skill points. In the future, maybe. We'll see. You know, if I get to a point on some games where I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna go all in, you know, and just run in the wild with no clothes on, you know, just do it. But we'll see. Well, what do you got, Streets?
I'm on the fence about it still, man. I didn't do it the first time, and I'm like you, Sandy. I don't want to lose all my blueprints. Like, I play this game on a regular, but I don't necessarily play the game just to always go and try to find a blueprint or find, you know, a gun. And some of those things is like I still haven't found them. You know, if it wasn't for I had homies that came in like, hey, I got an extra. Do you want this? You know, if it wasn't for the community, I probably still wouldn't have a lot of the augments that I have and some of the blueprints. So I don't know that I necessarily want to give all that up. It's like, you know, you spend all these hours on the game, hundreds of hours on the game, just to be like, okay, do it all again. Like at this time, we're just gonna give you 5 extra points. It's like, I don't know if it's worth it because, like, again, I don't necessarily go in to the game and always PVE or just try to, look for certain trinkets or certain augments because I've had a bad experience getting shot in my back or with people camping the exit with rats just waiting for me to show up so they can, not work hard and just steal all the hard work that I just did, all my goop and all my loot. So just don't want to do that. You know what I mean? I don't want to experience that again. But I would like to have the extra skill points, and get the other perks that come with doing the expedition. So I'm kind of on the fence about it. More so leaning towards probably going to do it, but I don't know. It's almost like it makes me want to go get a extra thing for blueprints or just get a whole bunch and then give them to somebody who's not doing the expedition. Like, hey, look, hold these for me. So when I come back, I can just learn them all right fast and I can skip, past all that. But, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do it yet. I'm still on the fence. I'm still debating. I don't know. I'm like Sandy. Like, I'm kind of good. I don't know if I want to, have to hunt for all those blueprints all over again. So, that's my piece with it. Maybe. We'll see.
All right. All right. Well, if you guys are good with that, anything you guys want to bring up here before we go to the final segment here?
Yes, I said it. I think the first time I was on the show, I said it last week. I'm gonna say it this again this week. Please embark, buff the Rattler. Please do something about this gun. We're begging you. Like you're hearing us, but you're not hearing us. You hear me? Do something with the Rattler. Maybe go crazy, give the Pharaoh a scope or something like I don't know, man, because it hits harder than the Renegade and it hits harder than the Osprey. So maybe just do a little mix, give it a little scope on there, some, I don't know. But outside of that, man, keep kicking ass, keep doing an amazing job, Embark. We love your game, and we can't wait to see what you guys have in store for us next. What about you, Weezy? What's your closing statements, brother?
You know what, man? I want my legendary SMG. You know, I know Sam talking about his little flamethrower and all, but I want my
Yes.
legendary SMG, man. Do you need an energized SMG? I thought that'd be so cool, kind of like a Bobcat or like a Stitcher, but make that like a Scorpion from like Black Ops 2 or something like that. I want that gun. But the Rattler though, yeah, buff that shit. That shit's horrendous. I never want to see that ever. Every time. I don't want to see it ever.
You saw that post I sent you?
Yeah. Yeah, I did. That
I'll
was
send it to you,
funny.
Streets. All right. Well, before I close it, open it up for the community here because you got your chat rolling. I got my chat rolling. So, anybody in my chats or Streets chat or Weezy's chat, if you're streaming Weezy, any questions for you guys? What do you guys want us to touch on?
Again, I'm looking at what Smirksies was just saying earlier. He was just saying that he really feels that cheaters just really want to ruin others' experience. They're just out to give you a bad time. They're not here to really let anybody enjoy the game. So he was saying, you know what? If you find them, having cheats, blatant cheats, get them out of here. Like they're gone. There's no space or room for that over here in the Arc Raider community. And that's really what they were saying over there. Anything over in your chat or Weezy chat they were saying?
Nobody in my chat just yet, but touching on that, the cheaters. It's interesting because I watched a short where this guy was asking the cheater, "What do you think you're achieving?" And the cheater said, "We're winning." That's how delusional these people are. They think they're winning. They think that cheating is allowing them to win the game, and it's a totally different
But
plane.
he's definitely right in a sense because they are winning. They are making the game companies have to go and do other things to be able to stop what they're doing. And they're winning by, hey, I'm literally not good at the game. So I'm winning now because I'm using my cheats against people who would normally dominate me in these games. So we're winning. The people who are known as like the bottom, we're now the top because we can just cheat our way through it. And it's like, you can't stop me until they do something about it. So it's like, we're winning. And you know what that does? That frustrates you. It makes the people who honestly play super frustrated to where, and it's like, hey, you don't like it? Go play another game. And it's like, oh, it just makes your skin crawl, makes your blood boil. And they're winning because they're getting the reaction out of you that they want. So to a sense, he's 100% right. They are winning.
Hell no.
They're
get that ass
winning.
in.
But I want them to be losing. So the battle is not done, and hopefully Embark continues to fight the fight.
Okay. Well, I don't have anyone in my chat right now that's got any questions. And if yours not popping and Weezy's not popping, then I'll go off with my any questions here, man. So I like to bring this back whenever we end the podcast is Arc Raiders and Embark Studios still better now than where they were last month? Is it better as it sits as a game, as a company, than it did 1 month ago.
I think so. I think that again, I'll keep saying it. The fact that they have these updates every single week, every Tuesday, you know that hey, if the game is broken, it's only a matter of a week before it's fixed or something's done about it. When we first started, these exploits and these cheats were around a lot longer. And now as we've progressed through the weeks and the months, anything that happens usually is fixed within, 24, 48, up to a week's time. But it really hadn't even been a week's time. Usually been a couple days and it's fixed. Down to even, I think I saw, I was in a game and I was playing and, I think it was me, you, and Smurg. And this guy, we walked up to him when we were down. We crawled over to him, not walked, but crawled to him and said, hey, man, what's going on? And he was like, Peanut told us to do it. Peanut, so I think, because he has so much traction, he's like, hey, look, I know if I get enough people to do this, it's going to make enough noise to where they'll fix the problem, which is smart.
Or he forgot to hide his screen.
Yeah, but they're smart, the smart way of doing it. So, but devs, they come in real quick. Oh, wait a minute. This is happening right now. Okay, it's fixed the next day. Like when it became like a huge, because at first when you and Weezy came in, you guys were like, bro, we're just every game we're getting, it's just trigger nade after trigger nade after, and I was like, what? You remember me saying that? I said, what are you? I haven't experienced that. Literally the next game we went into, it was like trigger nade, trigger nade, trigger nade. I was like, Sandy, what did you pull me into, bro? And then for the rest of the night, it was just like unfathomable amounts of trigger nades and all kind of snap, like every grenade you could think of getting spammed. So again, they fixed it the very next day, so it was cool. I do like the fact that they fix things quick. So that's my piece on it. You know, just keep fixing things quick, and I think we'll be all right. What about you, Weezy? Anything?
I agree, man. I agree. This game is going in the right direction, with the company of them fixing the exploits right off the bat, Usually people find exploits at the end of the week and then we get it fixed by Tuesday or even Monday if it's really game breaking, like the trigger nades, they fix it I think the same day, I believe. But yeah, man, this company, man, they're bright future ahead, again, they plan a whole ass 10 years of a roadmap. So they do plan on making this game last long, and if they're really serious about it, which they are, they're gonna keep doing what they need to do. And I'm just glad Embark dropped another banger, and I just hope they keep listening to the fans. That's all I hope is keep listening to the fans, the community, and just keep fixing it. Go ahead, Streetz.
I did hear that. I don't know how true this is, but I did hear that they spent, I think, $75 million to make the game, and then they made like over 500 million or something crazy like that. But I did hear that because they had such a massive success with the game, that they're actually making 2 new games that are currently in development. And I wanted to just ask you guys, just real quick, this is one of those fun topics. Do you think that the next game will be a shooter since they've already came out with the finals as a shooter and now arcraiders? Do you think they'll just stay in the shooter realm, or do you think they'll venture off into something else? With obviously they have 2 different games. What do you guys think? What do you see them doing next?
Yeah, I think they're gonna venture off because obviously the finals is not an extraction shooter. A shooter is like a multiplayer type game. We have like team deathmatch, the little cash, like you grab the cash and you got to defend it. They have different type of games. Arc Raiders is an extraction shooter game. I think they might. I think they're gonna keep the shooter aspect, but they might venture off to something different. I don't know the type of games they have though. The 2 new games, I haven't heard of the announcement yet. But I have high hopes. Whatever game they're gonna drop is gonna be good, because the finals did really good, and then Arc Raiders did fucking excellent. They exceeded their expectations. So I think whatever they drop, I'm gonna keep a lookout because I love what they be doing. They're a very good company. So What about you, Sandy? What do you think? They're gonna venture off to a different type of shooter, maybe survival game? You never know.
Yeah, I mean, the question's up there, right? We're not going to know until they do it, but based off what they've already done so far, I have high hopes that whatever game they put out is going to be engaging. It's going to have elements that are going to keep people engaged. So I guess we'll see when they pop out these games, and hopefully they don't kill one of their games with one of their other games. Create some cannibalism. But we'll have to see. But either way, I think it's gonna be good. So we're on that roller coaster together. We're all strapped in.
Yeah.
We just gotta find out,
That's it,
what
yeah.
happens with those loop-de-loops that are gonna send our way. So,
Yeah.
all right, awesome. Well, we just hit an hour and 15 minutes. It's usually kind of like our
Stop
I mean,
and
we don't
point.
really have a limit, but we could talk forever. But then, what are we gonna have for the next podcast, right?
Of course, you got to keep them coming
So-
back.
Yep. But we are live, so thank you everybody for watching and being here. If you guys haven't already, give Streetz a follow. Or young_Streetz. He's on Twitch.
Thank you so much.
He's on TikTok, a bunch of other platforms, and same thing with Weezy ISO. So if you guys haven't seen them live, jump in, man. These guys is great people. Lots of wisdom on these guys.
And
And
if you-
Weezy just put up a video. He just murdered a whole lobby. He killed 27 people, one run. Absolutely just walked this lobby. The most insane gameplay ever. So you got to see that video. So, and I'll put it in the link too on the podcast for the YouTube and on Spotify. So definitely check it out. But go ahead, Streetz.
No, and just make sure you follow the host, of course, Sandy_Fat, man. Make sure y'all go out there. Everybody from my chat, from Weezy's chat, if you haven't already. I know a lot of you have already, but if you haven't, please follow my brother, Sandy_Fat, please. And Fett is FETT. Go.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Streetz. And awesome. All right, so we're gonna end it here, and we're gonna hang out for a second. So, but you guys all have an amazing weekend.
Yeah, chat, I will catch you guys later. Appreciate you guys. It's been real. And I will see you guys on the next one next Saturday for episode 5 of Sandy After Dark.
Yeah.
See you guys then. We out here, man.
My